Hi everyone, my name is Imran Malik and today I'm going to do a demo of CS-6320 project R1. This project is a basic photo sharing website called PhotoSite built on top of Ruby on Rails. So the goal of this project is to build an MVC based photo sharing website using Ruby on Rails where we have users, their photos, their comments all stored in a SQLite database, and we have to design the controller logic where we fetch all that data and display on the UI, which is the view here. So let's start with the design of this project. The design of this project starts with the model, which is we have three model entities called user, photos, and comments, and these all have their corresponding data stored in an actual database. Next, we have to design the controller logic where we fetch that data using queries, and then we display that data on the UI, which is the view here. So the view part includes three URLs here. First is the user slash index, which is the main landing page, and we display all the users, their first name and last name here. Next is the photos of a specific user, and for this we pass the ID of the user as the input parameter, and it displays all the photos of that specific user. And the last one is the comments associated with the photo, so we pass the photo ID and it displays all the comments related to that photo. The working parts of this project include, first one is that it displays all the six users from our databases, and displays their name and last name, and it links to their photos page. And the second is like once that link is clicked, it displays all the photos of a specific user and the date of creation. And then we link all the comments for that photo to a specific comments page, and it displays the comments and the date of their creation. In addition, it also links each comment author back to their photos page. So let's start with the basic overview of the project and how it works here. So I go with the Ruby Mine software which I use for developing this project. In Ruby Mine, so as discussed earlier, since this is an MVC based project, so first thing we have to do is we start with a model here. So in Rails we go to tools, run Rails generator, and we say model here. So you see, and like I said, we have three model entities here. So the first one is the user, and second is photo, comment. So all these three entities, for each entity we basically create a model here by clicking OK, and it creates it. So looking at the user model here, we define the relationship of user with other model entities. So a user can have many comments and can have many photos here. uh, in photo we have like each photo belongs to a specific user, so this is the relationship between photo and user entity. Next one is a photo can have many comments, which is true because each comments all the comments are for one specific photo. And in the comment, since a comment belongs to a photo but it also belongs to a user, so the common relationship is like this as shown. So for each model creator we also get a create user file. So here we define what does actually get created on DB migration when we run the DB migrate tool. So for user we say that we have to provide the first name and the last name entries as strings for each user entity created in the database. Next we have create photos here, where we say that to which user ID this photo corresponds to, what's the date time, and what's the actual file name here. So the file name is actually all the files of this. All the files are stored in the ss/images folder, and these files were provided as a zip file from the project website. You can scroll here. So this is the download link. I download all of that and I extracted that in the images folder. So this will all correspond to the different names here in the images folder. So after comments we have the create comments. We will say what's the comment text for each comment, the date time created, the user ID corresponds to, and the photo ID to which it is associated with. So after that model part is done, we provide a load data which we run on the DB migrate. So this script is actually given also as a part of this project here. You can scroll, yeah. So this one load data. This script we have to add here basically by the name of load data, and this will actually declare how our data should be created for. So we create 6 users, the photos, and the name of the each file name should be same as here, and then create the comments for each photos. And after all is done, then we run the db migrate task. So for running that, we will go to tools, run that task, and we basically say db migrate, and we click OK. So it's going to run the db migrate. We have to make sure it exits with has the exit code 0, so that means it runs successfully. Next, we have to upload the data on the SQLite database. So for that, we go to view, tools, database, and then here we click plus import from sources. Since we have to import from our current project, so we go here, make sure we test our connection. Okay, our connection is successful. That means that we can talk to the SQLite database, and then click OK, and it's going to create all the entities and their entries in the database here, so we can see it there. So this completes our model phase of the project. Next comes the controller. So for controller, we first go to here, run with simulator, and we say controller. So we give the name of the controller. So first controller will be the user controller, and we can say index is going to be the function that is going to be the main function of this controller. So let's say index. This is going to create a controller for user controller, and in this function, since we mentioned the main landing page will display all the users, so user the all is, that means that it's going to make a query and it's going to get all the entries of the user model. So and all of that is stored in the user's variable, and we can use that variable in our view to basically extract all the users, and then we can display in the our view template. So if we go to the view of the user here, what we are doing here, we are like iterating over all the users here, users of each user, and we are linking the user ID to the photos page, and we are displaying the first name and the last name here. Similarly, for the photos controller, as I mentioned earlier, that for photos we have to pass the parameter, which is the user ID, to get the photos of the specific user. So the params ID, we said that this is the user ID, and find the user. Find by the is a method is going to get one specific instance which matches that result. So we will get that one specific user, so we can display the name of that user here. These are all the photos of this user, and then we get the photos where the user ID matches the input ID. And next comes the comment controller. So in comment controller, as I mentioned earlier, that we pass the photo ID of the photo whose comments are going to be uh, fetched from the database. So we just declare a variable photo ID, and then we get all the comments for that photo ID. And then there's an extra function which is a helper function which I created. Since using a photo ID, I cannot get the user ID. So for that, I have to I cannot get the username, but I can get the user ID. So if I have the user ID, I can pass the user ID and get the username here. So this is helpful, showing here this is the author of this comment. So first we go to the photo view here. Yeah, here we display all the user. Since we have one specific user, so we can display user the first name and user the last, and these are the photos of the user. And then we iterate over each photo, and we use the image tag uh, 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 Ruby function, Rails function, and we basically link it to the actual file name, and that is automatically fetched from the files here in the images folder. And then we also link to the show comments page, which is the photo comments page. So these are all the actual shortcuts I have created in my routes, which I can show you later. Photo comments page, path, and in the comment view, Yeah, here it is. So in the comment view too, I'm also showing the comment text and the day it was created, but I'm also linking it back to the author. So this line will link it back, like who created the comment, and it will link back to the user's photo path. So the user who created that comment, it also links it back, that if this link is clicked, it will take back to the author of the comment. And this is similar to the one I showed in the photos bag, which was photos comment path, and this is user photos path. So these are the actual short which are coming from the routes.rb. So let's take a look at the routes.rb. In this we have the first main route, which is user slash index, and this maps to the user hash index. And the photos slash index, that the ID of the user maps to the photos index page, the function of the controller. But I choose a shortcut of this link as user photos. So Ruby automatically provides me with the variable user underscore photos underscore path, which I can then utilize in my view. So I don't have to remember this whole URL here, but I can just remember the shortcut here. So this is really helpful in Ruby on Rails, that you can create the shortcuts to your routes. So you don't really type um, all of these paths with breadcrumbs. So similarly for comment show the photo ID, I map it to the comment controller main function, which is comment show, but I also declare a shortcut photo comments. So this is my routes.rb. So I think I covered pretty much like controller and the view here. So let's go ahead and run this project. So it's running here. Let's go. Yeah. So first page is the user slash index. See, so this is the main photos landing page with displays all the 6 users. This 6 is like it counts all the users from which is fetched from database, and the ID of the user links back to their photos page. So if I go to the first user page, just see the photo created at this time. Let's see the comments here. So this comment was created by user Justin itself, and it links back to his page. So let's go to some other user, Barack Obama. See the comments here. So we can see that this comment was created by user Paris. So if we click here, it's going to show me the main photos page of the user Paris, right? And the second comment was created by user Barrett itself. Then here, similarly we have Santa. It was created by user Santa himself. And then we have Paris. So this photo of Paris was the comment was created by user John, and so let's see how it links back to the user John. Right, John is just one picture, and let's see all the comments. Cool. So this is pretty much it. We have seen the main landing page, which is user slash index. See, so all the users are displayed, their photos are displayed here, and for each photo we can get the comments. And also each comment is linked back to the author who created the comment. So yeah, this is pretty much it for my project R1, which is completed and all the requirements are met. For me it was pretty useful and helpful. I've used MVC before for my work, but that was using Python. But learning with Rails is really easy and it's really straightforward. Plus the fact that Rails has a lot of useful utilities that you can utilize, especially making queries to your database, since the methods are really straightforward, like find by, um, find by, where, all these methods are super useful that just provide the parameter that you're going to query with that and provide the value, and just going to get that instance for you. And also you just all these variables and these helper functions are all available to you to be used in your view. So in your view you don't have to worry about how to get the data from database. Your controller takes care of that, and designing your controller is really super easy based on all these helper functions. And one more thing I liked a lot was the routes.rb file. Yeah, this one. So you can declare these shortcuts that you can use in your view if you want to link to other views. So using these, so these are basically the how you define your views in your routes.rb, but you can define using shortcuts, which were really helpful for me. So yeah, this is my project R1. Thank you so much.